Hey friends, it's Rabbi Jenny Solomon here at Beth Meyer Synagogue with a Mincha moment. So we have arrived at the center book of the Torah, Leviticus, Vayikra, which in many ways is really a devotional manual for the priests, for the Kohanim in ancient times. But in the absence of a temple, there's so much of the book of Leviticus that we actually cannot practice, at least not in the literal sense. We no longer offer sacrifices, thankfully, especially not animals. And we have different forms of devotion, as the rabbis were challenged and charged with reinterpreting Judaism thousands of years ago in a post-temple world. So we have other forms of devotion, and for that reason, we really continue to study and read and interpret the book of Leviticus, but not in a literal way. We use these texts, especially these texts that are centered around the sacrificial offerings, in a metaphorical sense. And so I want to bring our attention to just one verse in this week's Torah portion, Parashat Tzav, which I think offers us a deep teaching which we can apply to our spiritual practice. And that is that the priest was charged with, among his many duties, keeping this fire going on the Mizbeach, on the altar, but every day, sweeping out the ashes that had burned from the day before, the night before, bringing them outside to another place. And I think this is an amazing, very brief detail that we can apply to our practice as well. That is to say, it is tempting, especially for people who are very ritually oriented. I myself am one of those people. I love a routine. I love my practice. I love moving through the same words, the same melodies. I love, even in my physical practice, I love doing the same route on a run. But there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I think that this teaching reminds us that each time we perform a ritual, whether we are sitting to meditate or we're going for a walk in nature or opening a prayer book, while the form, the structure may be the same, we cannot rely on the burnt ashes of yesterday to imbue our ritual with meaning. We need to sweep out the old and to make room for something new and present to arise. And so while the words, the forms may be the same, and by the way, I think that's a beautiful thing to kind of hold us and steady us and keep us connected to the many generations that have come before us and used these same forms. The words, the feeling, the sense of presence, the thoughts, all of that must be new, must be rooted in this moment. And we make space for that by sweeping out the ashes, so that our prayers can help enliven us and help us feel connected to this moment. I hope this is supportive for your practice in whatever form or fashion. And I really pray for myself and for all of us that we remember to keep sweeping out the ashes so that we can stay connected to what feels true here and now, unburdened by the prayers of our past. Shalom. Peace, everyone.